What up? What up? What up? What's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, I'm back in the building. Can y'all hear me loud and clear? I want to make sure y'all can hear me loud and clear. Mercedes got a dope lecture that she will have prepared for y'all on Monday, but we're going to do quick Kimbanda Q&A. We're doing a Q&A today. So I want everybody to get their questions ready. And before we do the Q&A, I'm going to talk a little bit about Kimbanda, and then y'all can ask all the questions in the world. So I'm gonna just wait for everybody to join us. When you join, put some roses in the chat. Put some roses in the chat when you join. And we're gonna get to it. Y'all know how I like to do. There we go. And Lex, you can go in the Discord and let everybody know I'm live. Nicey Gal, going mad, you could go in the Discord, let everybody know that I'm live. All right. So I'll get straight into this. Y'all are learning. The Gym Fairy was good. I think that's the door. Was good. So a True Beauty 200 was good. Yep. Let's go blow the chat up with a little bit more roses. All right. So if you ever looked on YouTube or IG or TikTok about, so you typed in Pambajera or Kimbanda or Pambajera and Eshu, what you will notice is that there is a lot of misinformation, right? There are a lot of frauds. There are a lot of charlatans. There are a lot of people that are not initiated. There are a lot of predators, right, that are drawn to this tradition. And they are drawn to the tradition because it is so attractive, right? Kimbanda is still a very, very, very difficult practice to access. It has been a secret up until the year 2004, right? So in the year 2004, the first English publication for Kimbanda was written, and it was written by someone who was not even initiated yet, right? So 2004, Kimbanda has its first English publication. But before 2004, Kimbanda, or this Kimbanda that we're teaching, was a secret practice, and it was a practice that was known to work when everything else did not work in Brazil. So in Brazil, they got Candomblé, they got Umbanda, they got all of the ATRs, the African traditional religions. And those religions, very effective, right? And the magics in those religions, very effective. But it was the Kimbanda that when that stuff failed or did not work, you went to see a Kimbanda priest, right? You went to see a priest that practiced the behind the curtain stuff. And that was Kimbanda. And the Kimbanda worked. So Kimbanda had a very good reputation for magic that works, right? Take y'all into a little bit of, I'm gonna take y'all back into a little bit of history, then we're gonna do the Q&A. So As Yaya Mercedes taught y'all about slavery in Brazil and those uh, slaves, the first part of Brazil they reached was Bahia, right? And from there, they went further down south to Rio, and then they went further down south to the south to Porto Alegre. But when everybody got to Rio, right? So you had European occult magic dealing with the Goetia. You had all the African stuff. You had the indigenous Brazilian stuff. You got this melting pot of magicians doing their stuff and very recently freed slaves. And all of that was called Macumba, right? As the thing with Macumba, as if the magic worked, it was considered Macumba. If it worked, it had to work. So it didn't matter if it was European or African or American. If it worked, it was considered Macumba, right? These practitioners, not only were they good with the stuff that they came to Rio with, right? That was already good magic. But as time went along, they learned how to mix their stuff, right? So now we have this modern Kimbanda, which have all of these elements of magic in it, right? The thing with Kimbanda is that as it is very ancient, because the word Kimbanda comes from Angola, so it's like very, 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 very old shamanism. This modern Kimbanda is brand new. Okay. So I'll go back a little bit. 2004, first Kimbanda publication. Then 2008. Does everybody remember the MySpace era? Right? Because before 2008, even in Brazil, Kimbanda, although it was known about, it was not advertised. So while we in the West was out here posting on MySpace, right? Playing around, the Brazilians were putting their Kimbanda magic on MySpace. Right? This is before Instagram. And what you seeing now on TikTok, where you got all of these, all that witchcraft, right? What they call it? Witch talk. And you can see all of those. They did that already. They did that from MySpace days, right? And that stuff went viral, right? So 2008, Kimbanda, this very secretive practice, blew up like wildfire. It blew up to the point where every day there's a new form or branch of Kimbanda being created. So that happens, and then because of this explosion, mixed in with the explosion, you get all of the charlatans and the frauds and the, so that's just some history for y'all to know why there is so much misinformation, right? You all watching this are very fortunate because not only are you getting the real stuff, but you're getting the real scholarly stuff, the stuff that all of the frauds would pay top dollar for this information. So please write everything down, take good notes, study hard. Because this, as we teach it, it is equivalent to like earning a master's degree. And you all will see that. A lot of information. It's a lot of things to memorize. This is fixed form magic. What I mean by that is none of this magic is guesswork, but there's a lot to it, right? There's so much to it. Um, if any of you ever initiate mediumship, right? So there is a technique in it's an art form, it's a practice to be possessed by an ancestral spirit and hold that energy in your body and allow that energy to move through and divine and give guidance and advice and all of that. That's something that takes years to get down, right? Um, the application of Pontos Cantados and Pontos Riscados. Well, the Pontos Cantados, as y'all know, are the songs. There's categories. So there's attack pontos, there's protection pontos, there's defense pontos, there's pontos for attraction, there's pontos to invite a Pambajira in, there's pontos to open up a ceremony, there's pontos to close a ceremony, there's pontos for all sorts of things. So the pontos itself are very essential and important part of the practice, but that's a science that you all have to learn. One of the things we encourage y'all not to do is go listen to pontos on your own because they sound good. Because these formulas cause things to happen, and if you don't understand what you're doing, you can get yourself into weird situations. All right. I'm ready for any questions that y'all have. Y'all can go ahead and ask the questions. Yaya Mercedes will be back on Monday to drop some sauce. I'm not going to tell y'all what she's going to drop on y'all, but she's going to give y'all something real heavy. Don't be afraid. Ask your questions. All right. Kimbanda in America is becoming more and more popular, right? So what you will all see is that you're going to notice that everybody's going to want to initiate into this. Everybody's going to want to practice this. Everybody's going to want to be Pambajira. Everybody's going to want to be Eshu. You're going to notice that. That is coming. Everyone in this class, y'all caught the tail end before everybody tries to jump on the bandwagon. The worst thing you could do is stop learning with us right now. Because if you stop 2 or 3 years from now, you're going to wish that you stayed with it. All right. All right. Ask me some questions. Where exactly do pontos come from? Are they channeled? Who decides they are official? That is a very good question. I love that question. Pontos come from the Cantingas. The pontos come from the Caboclo science. The pontos come from the science of the Kabulas. The pontos come from Angolan practice. How it started was that pretty much a shaman, as they did their healing work, when they died, in order to be venerated, there was a melody put together that told their life story and told what they were good for. That melody had secrets in it that brought that shaman back to life in their death so that shaman can continue working for the people. That's the gist of it without giving out the secrets, right? Pontos are not channeled. They are developed by very high-ranking priests and composed There's a lot of secrets to how they're composed. I can't share that. Right? Who decides are they official? The, the it depends, right? It depends. There are a lot of new pontos composed in this era. Some are official from the spirits and the priests, right? Some are rejected as not official and just nice showing. So it all depends. Does that make sense? Ask me another question, y'all. Somebody said I hardly found any info in English. LOL. Yeah, that's going to change soon. All right, because of Chat GPT and all of that, you will start seeing a gazillion Kimbanda books, but it is scary to what is going to be in them books because it's going to be so much misinformation. With the possession, would we remember what we experienced after? It depends. Not everybody can get possessed. That's one. Uh, Depending on the level of possession, sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends on the person. Mediumship or being mounted, it is a whole world within itself. It's such a world that there are specialized classes that initiate has to take on how to get possessed, and their process of being possessed is a process that takes a long time to get down. And it is one of the most difficult things in all of African traditional religion is holding a spirit inside, being mounted and working with a spirit. It takes years to get the relationship down. It's a symbiotic relationship, but it's a a partnership, right? When we invite Pambajira in to possess us, what should we expect? As a one man who lived a boring life, played by the rules, and is starting over, I'm curious to know what I am to expect. Okay, so you would, if, so one, all right, inviting a Pambajira in to possess you, that is something that is coming with a full blown initiation, right? You probably be a couple of years off of that right now, right? So step by step, you want to get to learning all of this, the ins and outs, and being accepted in a Tejedo, then being accepted for initiation, then being able to pass the initiation, and then we start thinking about this thing of possession. That's how that works. Why is the selection process really hard to get into Kimbanda? Is it that Pambajira and is it that Pambajira and Eshu choose you? The selection process to get into Kimbanda, I would not say is hard. To roll with us, the vetting process is going to be very extensive. And the vetting process to learn and work with us and to initiate and to join our Tejedo is going to be really, really tough. That selection process be hard. But to get into Kimbanda is not hard, right? You got a couple of dollars, you could go to Brazil and initiate. $1,500, you initiate. You won't learn nothing, right? And why is our vetting process hard? Because of the reasons that I said. This is black magic. It's very dangerous, and it is a seductive magic, and it is what all of the predators want. This they want something of power where they could use people, where they could uh, uh, get over on people, where they could sexually exploit people, where they could womanize and all of that. So we know what we're looking for as far as who to teach this magic to. All right. Is it that Pamba and Jira and Eshu choose you? Everyone is born with a Pombajita and a Eshu that will choose them when they initiate, right? You're born with these guides. If you join the religion, you can access these guides that are Pombagiras and Eshus. All right, ask me more questions, y'all. With them turning CERN off, I feel like my spiritual intuition has increased and everything is becoming better for me. Is there anything specific we should do in this time, like on a daily? Okay, so that's not a Kimbanda question. If CERN remained on or if it is turned off, it doesn't matter, right? Um, it didn't affect you when it was on. It's not going to affect you now, right? Um, is there anything specific you should be doing in this time? Live your life. Live your life. Okay. Uh, any more questions? Any more questions? How do y'all like the YouTube lessons? Y'all like this better than Discord? I mean, better than Zoom, right? What does it mean to be in court or spirit walking with you? So in Kimbanda and other African traditional religions, you have like a team, right? You might have like this many Eshus and this many Pombagiras, and this might be your main Eshu, and this would be your main Pombagera, and this would be your witch energy, and this would be, it's like a team, it's a court. This is like your, not your guides, but your court, right? So you might have 10 Pombagiras and 10 Eshus, and they all have a different purpose, right? So one might be like your main instructor, the other one might be like your main companion, the other one might be like the one who really oversees everything. Another one will be like who you go to for love. Another one who you go for witchcraft and protection. Another one will be who you may go to for ancestral things. Another one will be who you go to for money and luck and all of that. So that is your court. And the court, there's a way that court is determined, and there's a science to like that court being established. But everybody works together, very organized, stuff like that. All right. YouTube working for me so far. Cool. I like it. It's like when my professor teach class. That's what's up. I think YouTube is way better. We're going to stay on YouTube. We're staying on YouTube. All right. Are y'all taking notes? So there's another thing I want to tell y'all. Mercedes will tell you. Everybody in the coven will tell you. Everybody in the Taheda will tell you. Don't not take notes, because there will be a point in time where I will talk to you and I will question you and I will ask what you know, and I am going to check to see if you've been studying. And if you have not, I will let you go. So please take notes. Is there something you could teach us, a Pombagera / Eshu ritual for protection for those that don't have any altars yet? Nope. um, you know, I'll say this. In 2026, you could pay a couple $1,000, go to Nigeria, become a Babalao. You could pay a couple dollars and you can become a Sentero. You could become a Ianifa. You can become a Kimbandero. You spend your money, you go to an initiation, a couple of days, you initiate it, you got beads on, you got crown on, you got some tools that you don't know how to use. You get back to the States and you will feel like you might feel good for a couple of days. But after the dust settles and you realize that, yes, you have a title from a ritual that you've gone through, but you don't know nothing about how to do what that type of priest does. And you realize that you got to learn, right? That means you got to spend time in the classroom and learn like y'all spending now. Then you realize that you got to practice, right? You got to memorize things before you can practice that tradition of what you initiated in. I'm telling y'all now, I know a lot of people like that. That is the worst feeling. Here, we teach you first. The first thing we're going to teach you is the history of what you are practicing. After that, then we teach you how it works. Then you start learning protection, little protection spells and all of that. By the time you initiate, you will feel like you know what you're doing. Right? There is the legitimate way to do things, and then there is, I don't even want to call it the fast way, because I think how we teach over here is pretty fast. There's the illegitimate way to do things. The legitimate way to practice advanced black magic is to spend time in the classroom, right? If you look at our Tejedo, you will notice that everyone here has students. We got money, stores, you name it. Because we know what we're doing. We're good at what we do. But everyone in our Tejedo, in our coven, they know this. They know what I'm teaching y'all. Right? Nobody paid some money and just got initiated. You gotta learn in the classroom. That's the best piece of being a magician, is spending time in the classroom. Y'all need classroom time. Take good notes, memorize your stuff, but take it serious. Take it like you are taking I don't want to say a course. Like you getting a degree. Okay? Does that make sense? Right? So as far as something that can be taught as a protection ritual, for those that don't have altars, you don't need that right now. That time will come. It may come in a couple weeks, right? One of the things that we sell for protection is patois, right? Baths. So whenever we sell a bath or patois, grab it, take it. You'll see how effective it is, so you'll know what you're learning, right? So let us do the protection stuff. That way you know what you're learning. So some years from now, you're able to do the same thing, right? You do your own protection mojo bag, that's fine, but it's not professionally done. It's a difference. We want to show you how a professional does it. That makes sense? All right. There's a lot to learn. How many of y'all were on the Portuguese classes? And was that helpful? And everybody who was on the classes, y'all are going to appreciate that you did those classes, because all of those words are coming back around. All of those words are coming back around because we have the application of the Pontos Cantados, and the incantations, and you are going to be very grateful that we had those Portuguese classes. Okay, everybody felt like it was helpful. Good, good. So we're going to see you all put that to use very soon. All right. All right. Any more questions? Any more questions? And everyone watching, please make sure your fellow classmates are in attendance with you all. That is very important too. Y'all are a group. Y'all got to stick together as a group, push each other, and I need y'all to be active as a group. But that's all I got for today. Y'all, Mercedes, we'll see y'all on Monday. I'm out this joint, y'all. Peace.